Hello again, everybody, along with former St. Lawrence High School football coach Bob Fabrizio, who is the current assistant football coach at Elmhurst College. I'm Dave Wills, and Bob, the Evergreen Park Mustangs, their head coach Brett Nelson. I know a lot of coaches say the best thing about juniors is the fact that a year later they become seniors, and he went through some growing pains last year, 3-6 for the Mustangs. But this year, they've made a few changes. They used to go with the run and shoot. Now they've changed it around.
They're a little bit more traditional, Dave. They're a pro-I team, tight end, flanker, split end. They've got some good quality running backs. Tim McKenna, number 32, and tailback Josh Morris. So I'm sure Coach Nelson feels very comfortable that he'd like to control the football today and utilize the talented kids in the eye.
Last week, in what Brett Nelson termed a bloodbath, they defeated Pontiac by a score of 7-0, and really they did depend on those two running backs, both Norris and McKenna.
Well, Tim McKenna not only being a good blocker, last week he rushed for 80 yards, and Josh Norris had 19 carries and 45 yards. So I'm sure with a big win on the road, they feel comfortable coming home to play, and I expect that both of those kids will carry the ball quite a bit today.
Now, I never really did ask Brett Nelson why he got away from the run and shoot that he has been running here in his previous 5 years, but maybe one of the reasons could be the fact that he does have a junior signal caller, Brian Shafrath, and that run and shoot offense is really a complicated offense.
Right, there's a lot of reads that you have to do pre-snap and after the ball is snapped, and I'm sure that Coach feels this is a little bit better and better suits his abilities. But Brian engineered a win last week. He was 4 of 7 for 66 yards and threw a touchdown pass to the tight end. So obviously he didn't make any critical errors and turn the ball over. So he's done a good job.
Well, Brett Nelson's defense has not given up a touchdown or a field goal this year. They shut down Pontiac, as I mentioned earlier. And the big key to their success today will be shutting down of Keith Bailey, who wears number 30 for the Batavia Bulldogs.
They play a basic 4-3 defense. Sometimes they're going to overload it a little bit to the tight end side, sometimes a little bit to the split end side. But it's really going to be the job of the down men to keep the offensive linemen off those linebackers so they can attack Bailey.
Now Mike Gasperi, who took a little stinging last week at the hands of Dan Darlington's Morris Redskins team, a top-ranked team in the state of Illinois. They lost 53-0. Batavia is still looking for their first points of the season, and they're going to be depending on Bailey to have a big game.
Right. They will. They'll depend on Bailey, but they're going to be a little bit more multiple. They're going to line up in a wishbone. They're going to motion. They're going to come out in a few different sets, but ultimately they want the ball in the tailback's hands.
And Bailey will get the start, and he will be the guy, the go-to guy. He had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. And they have a junior signal caller themselves, Corey Andres, who will get the start today. He played a lot last week, but didn't start.
Well, I think he played in the second half, and Coach felt very comfortable with his performance. So I think he's looking for that spark to get the offense going, and he's hoping that's Corey.
Well, a little reversal of fortune for the Batavia Bulldogs. That last year they had a senior-dominated team that defeated Evergreen Park 23-7. This year they've got a lot of juniors, and defensively they're going to be very well tested.
Well, they're going to line up in a traditional 4-4 defense, which is an 8-man front, and every now and then they'll walk up their outside linebackers and make it a 6-2 defense. I'm sure that they're going to try and again attack the I formation, attack the tailback of Evergreen Park.
They always talk about intangibles in a game of football, and there's a lot of intangibles in this ball game. Talking with Brett Nelson before the game, he says that I think the Mustangs have a bit of a chip on their shoulder from something that happened in last year's ball game.
Well, I think that last year the Batavia had a pretty big lead near the end of the game, and I guess there were some comments made, some words exchanged, and I think the Evergreen Park Mustangs have pretty good memories, and they're going to be motivated today.
Well, the Chicago White Sox say good guys wear black. The Evergreen Park Mustangs maybe taking a cue from all of the black jerseys, wearing the black jerseys you might be able to see behind us. They're already rocking here at Evergreen Park High School. We're going to have the football game for you right after this. Along with Bob Fabrizio, I'm Dave Wills. Glad you joined us as the Mustangs and the Batavia Bulldogs get ready to play the second game of the numbers in white trim, while the Batavia Bulldogs will be with the white jerseys, the red and gold numbers. And as we mentioned, the big key for the Evergreen Park Mustangs will definitely be to stop Keith Bailey. If he starts to run wild, it could be a long day for the Mustangs.
Well, like most tailbacks, he usually gets better the more he carries the ball. The best thing Evergreen can do is control the ball themselves on offense with their good running backs. So the longer they have it, the less time Bailey has a chance to run around his field today.
We were looking at the rosters, and we noticed that Tim McKenna will be a guy who's going to be playing playing both ways, and he's in two very tough positions, a fullback and linebacker, and it'll be a key to watch him as the game goes along as well.
Well, sure, playing both ways, you know, you've got to be in great physical condition, and you know, he's going to be the lead blocker on those I formations. He's going to carry the ball, and he's going to have a big part in trying to stop Bailey, the tailback. So he's going to be a tired young man when this one's over.
A breezy afternoon, a gorgeous afternoon for baseball, but this is football, and I know a lot of football coaches and players would rather have it like this than about 30 degrees and a rather windy day like it is today.
This is just fine. This is beautiful.
The wind is blowing out of the south end zone as the Evergreen Park Mustangs will get ready to kick it off. Back deep for the Batavia Bulldogs is, in fact, number 30, their big gun, and that is Keith Bailey. So the Bulldogs will get the football first, as getting ready to kick off is number 13, Matt Zadano. Zadano teeing it up. And the Evergreen Park Mustangs and the Batavia Bulldogs getting ready to go. The Bulldogs will be going from left to right, as the Mustangs now going through the huddle and getting ready to go. A windy day with, as I mentioned, the wind blowing out of the south. And neither team really a big passing team, so that wind will not really affect too many things.
No, both of these teams are going to try and establish their running game and throw as the defense presents opportunities to throw the football. They want to run it.
So Bailey deep for the Bulldogs as Zadano hand up in the air and getting ready to go as the Evergreen Park Mustang faithful trying to cheer them along. Zadano kicks off and we're underway. A little sliver, one of the up men able to get. And he fell right on top of it as it bounced off his body. That was number 54, Ben Urich. He was able to bounce on top of the baseball. They're going to have to check the air level of that football. He got right on top of it.
Well, either that was an onside kick or he missed it. And, you know, perhaps if it was an onside kick, they were trying to, you know, get a big turnover right away and set the tempo.
The backfield for the Batavia Bulldogs, Corey Andres. Setting up behind center, he's got Nate Ostry and Keith Bailey and Mark Fields behind him. And now in motion, moving over to the left side as the handoff goes into number 31, Nate Ostry, and he gains maybe a couple of yards. Tackled by number 32, Tim McKenna. So gain of a couple on that play. It'll be second down and 8.
There you saw Batavia come out in the wishbone and then shift into a pro formation and try to establish the fullback.
The drive starting at about the 50-yard line, and they gain 2, second down and 8. Andres behind the center, Ben Urich. Here's the handoff, a fake to Ostry, and now Andres keeps it himself. He's to about the 45 and tackled by a host of Evergreen Park Mustangs.
Now that was dive option where he faked the ball to the fullback. He pulled it out and attacked the perimeter with the football. And now the next phase of this to be looking for would be the pitch.
Give him another 2. It'll be third down and about 6 yards to go for the Batavia Bulldogs. Lining up. They've got about 6 yards to go. A wishbone start now. Moving over near side. See the train in the background. Here's dropping back. Andres hits number 82. He's to the 35, down to about the 37-yard line. And he's tackled over there by Brian Olenek.
It was just a little hitch route. Went down, drove off the defender, tried to stop it about 5 or 6 enough to get the first down, and the quarterback delivered the ball.
Bob Dazzo on the reception. All-conference cornerback. Getting the start behind in the backfield as part of the wishbone defense. Now moving over into motion and coming over near us, Mike Smith. Lines up to the right side. Andres takes the snap. Another quick handoff to number 31, Nate Ostry, and he gains maybe a couple. Give him 2 at the most. It'll be second down and 8. First down of the day for Batavia.
I don't believe Bailey's in the game, to tell you the truth. I don't know if he got shaken up early on or what. I don't believe he's in there.
Well, he has not lined up. He is not in this formation anyway. Again, Ostry behind Andres. Coming in motion is Bob Dazzo near us. Andres calling off the signals. A quick fling over to Dazzo. He comes back over the middle. Breaks a couple of tackles. Now being hang-tied by a number of Mustangs right there. And again, it looked like Tim McKenna was in on the tackle.
It was a little quick screen to the flanker. He took the ball and went back underneath as his lineman started to run to the outside. He tried to go back underneath those blocks. Pretty versatile offense here for Batavia.
Gain of maybe not even another yard, as it'll be third down. And
okay, Bailey's back in there now.
Third down and still a long 7, let's call it. Andres behind center. Connecting on his second pass attempt. Here's a flip to Bailey. He's waiting for his blockers now, looking for a hole coming along the near side, and he's tackled by, again, number 32, Tim McKenna.
That's a very good pursuit by the Evergreen Park defense. The flanker went all the way in and cracked on, I think it's the outside linebacker for Evergreen Park.
Gain 6 on the play. It'll be 4th and 2, and see what Batavia decides to do here. Well, Andres, as we have mentioned, talking with Mike Gasperi prior to the ball game, he said that he was going to run a lot of different looks, and so far they have done several different things in this first series.
But I think he's done some things where Corey Andres can, there's a little belly play inside, off tackle.
Bailey close to the first down. Tackled over there by number 28, Chris Roby. And it does not look like they get it, so the ball will go over on downs to the Evergreen Park Mustangs. Good pursuit once again by the Mustangs.
They're really flowing to the football and doing a nice job gang tackling. I think Coach Gasperi is doing a real smart thing with his young quarterback, and he's giving him some things to do where he can get some success, he can get some completions, and I'm sure he feels pretty good about the drive, other than the fact, you know, they had to turn it, but Corey's done well.
So the Mustangs hold, and now offensively, Brian Shafrath coming behind Dan Whalen. And he takes the snap.
Counter play, counter tray.
It's off to Josh Norris, and Norris coming down the near sideline. One man to beat. He's to the 30, the 25. He could go all the way, and he does. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Counter tray, baby.
First play from scrimmage for the Evergreen Park Mustangs, and they go 70 yards for the score. Not a bad start. One play, 70 yards, and it's 6-0 Evergreen Park.
The Mustangs motioned to the short side of the field and ran the counter back to the tight end side, and that was really a great job of blocking and outstanding job of outrunning the Batavia defense. Okay.
Matt Zidano getting ready for the extra point. Soccer-style kicker, right leg. The snap, little trouble with it. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-0. Evergreen Park, one play from scrimmage. And we will have the replay on that last play.
There's the counter tray, good kick out block, good downfield block, and 79's really hustling to the football, and then it's a foot race.
And he
Great
showed
job.
Good breakaway speed right there, as he had a couple of guys right on him. I saw Corey Andres right on his heels for a little while there, but Norris able to break it open.
And it's really a good call by the Evergreen Park coaching staff. You know, Batavia, you know, they're excited. They're out there the very first play, and he counters them. They're going to swarm to the ball. I'm sure they've been talking all week about you got to get there, you got to get to the tailback. And bang, he counters and comes right back. So they over-pursued a little bit, and there was some really crisp blocking by the offensive line. So that's a great call.
So 7-0 Mustangs, and Batavia going to get the ball back again. Bailey is deep. Zidano getting ready to kick off. Mike Prendergast, one of the guys that sprung Josh Norris with a very nice block. A lot of times those linemen, the only time they're recognized is when they get called for the penalties, and you got to give Prendergast a little nicely done job right there.
Absolutely.
Able to make the stop.
Absolutely.
So Zidano getting ready to kick off from the 40-yard line. High school football. Sets it up on the near hash mark. The Mustangs down in the stance. Here's the kickoff, and a little floater to one of the up men. Taken at about the 40-yard line, and he takes it out to about the 43.
Well, I think that Evergreen's decided they're not going to kick the ball deep to Bailey. You know, whatever field position they're going to give up here by kicking it short, I think they feel that, you know, Keith Bailey is such a threat to take it all the way that they're just better off, and they like to defend, you know, let their defense play as opposed to having him, you know, return the kickoff.
So as Batavia begins their second start with the football, Andres behind center, again in motion to the near side, leaving Bailey the deep back. Handoff again to Osprey, the first man through, and he's got a good gainer, maybe almost 10 yards. Before tackled over there by number 47, Ken Kirshner, and let's see if they are going to give him a first down. Awful close, and indeed they do. Gain of 10 on the play for Osprey.
I think the Evergreen Park defense right there was in some kind of movement where they were slanting, and they happened to slant away, and the fullback just picked a hole right there.
1st and 10 from about the 47-yard line. Andres setting up, marking out the signals, now drops back. Quick shot over the middle, and it's blocked. Nice job by number 67, Frank Adamo. Getting the hands up. Adamo's 6 foot, 230 pounds, and he blocked the passing lane there.
He did indeed. Corey Andres was trying to fake that quick hitch and throw the ball inside to his big tight end, and outstanding job by Frank.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. First incompletion of the day for Andres. 2 of 3 now for about 4 yards. Andres setting up, motion near side. Here's the handoff to Bailey, and a big rush by the Mustangs, tackled by a couple of guys. Olnick down at the bottom of the pile, along with number 59, Jim Zerwinski, and Tim McKenna.
Evergreen blitzed right there, and they guessed right, and did an outstanding job forcing a loss there.
Loss of about, well, let's call it almost 4. It'll be 2nd down and 14. 7-0 Evergreen Park. 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. 3rd down. Here's the flip to Bailey.
Toss sweep.
Looking, didn't have anything there. Trying to reverse field, and the pursuit able to get him down. 59, Jim Zerwinski leading the tacklers, and Bailey having a tough time finding a hole. He loses another maybe 6 yards. It'll be 4th down and 20 for the Bulldogs.
The Evergreen Park defenders are really doing a good job, striking and separating and pursuing to the football. They're not, they're not getting tied up by the offensive linemen of Batavia. So it's really a good defensive series.
So Bailey, in essence, is in negative yards rushing. Back punting for Batavia, Mike Pingle. And deep for Evergreen Park is number 34. Goes and gets it at about the 28-yard line, and he's tackled over there. Good job by number 80, Ben Duck. Maybe gained 1, but Evergreen Park will start their 2nd series of downs from about their own 29-yard line. Chris Groby back to receive.
Outstanding job by Chris catching that ball, making sure it didn't hit the ground and roll.
The football, the nose just shy of the 30-yard line as Evergreen Park gets ready to take it over again. At the same spot where they started their last drive. It took all of 1 play. Here's the handoff again to Norris. Near side. He's run out of bounds over there after a gain of about 7. And Norris now with 77 yards rushing.
Batavia's really stacking in the middle, and Evergreen's doing a good job sealing it off and bouncing that ball outside.
Kirshner coming to their side as wideouts both left and right, I formation. Here's the handoff. First man through, McKenna, and he's tackled by a swarm of Bulldogs right there, a pack of dogs, if you will, and he gets it out to about the 40-yard line. And let's see if they're going to give him the first down there. May have actually crossed the 40, so he will get the first down. Gain of a couple. So his first carry, good for a first down. The 2nd first down of the day, I should say, for the Evergreen Park Mustangs, who lead it 7-0. Kirshner to the near side.
Little trap, little fold up in there.
Carrying the ball across the 45-yard line, tackled by number 51, Scott Johnson.
I'll tell you,
by number 41.
Brian Schaffrath's doing a real nice job. He's going on some quick counts, and he's taking advantage of his team's quickness. They're really getting up into the to the defense and getting off the ball here.
2nd down, call it a long 5. Schaffrath trying to draw the opposition off scrimmage, and he may have.
Excellent job. That's really a good job by a young quarterback. The play before, he went right on the first down. Right here, he draws a penalty. So he's really, showing a lot of poise out there.
Number 53 for the Bulldogs coming offside in that play. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, I believe, and that'll leave the nose just barely shy of the first down.
Now here's second and short, maybe a chance to go on top for a home run.
Wideouts left and right. Number 43 to the far side for the Mustangs is Brad Manderfeld. Kirshner to the near side. Shafrath, a quick give to the fullback right there, Tim McKenna, and he got it. Number 61, or number 81, I should say, one of the first men there for the Batavia Bulldogs, and 81, Justin Williams.
I think they lost
on the offense, and they may have lost a little bit. It'll be third down and almost a yard now.
Yeah, they lost a little. That was a nice play by the Batavia defense coming off the blocks.
Kind of surprised that they go with such a conservative play on second and short.
You know what, Coach, or Dave, I really think there's good power football right there for that burst out of the power eye.
Handoff to Norris right there. Gains about 4 on the play. It'll be good for a first down. It's the third first down of the day for Evergreen Park.
I think the one thing that it does, though, it keeps the clock going, and it keeps Keith Bailey on the bench. So I really like the game plan. I like the way that they've chosen to attack Batavia.
From the 47-yard line, first and 10 for the Evergreen Park Mustangs. Shafrath barking out the signals, getting ready to take the snap from Dan Whalen. Second man through is Norris, and he may have lost his footing and just barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
Again, a little counter play with a trap, and they're showing some good versatility in their offense. The play before to get the first down, they power football with the power eye, and now they start to tail back one way and counter them. So again, nice versatility here.
Jeff Adams, Ryan Thilgen among the tacklers on that last play. Second down, still 10. Both wide receivers, flanker and receiver, to the right side. Here's a quick hitter again to McKenna. He drags a couple of defenders with him. Gains about 6, maybe 7, to about the 40-yard line.
They're doing a nice job, Dave, of folding their guard up on the linebacker. The center's blocking back, and the fullback's getting in that crease, and that's a very, very effective play against Batavia.
So they're to the 40-yard line. The drive doing a nice job.
Keep that clock going. Outstanding.
High formation, split right and left. Shafrath takes it. Quick hitter over to 43, and that's Brad Manderfeld. Breaks a couple of tackles out to the 36, maybe almost the 35-yard line. They're going to give it to him about the 36, so it'll be right on the first down marker. See if they're going to bring the chains out. No, they say it's a first down.
Nicely done. They're throwing that quick hitch to the flanker, and the tackle and guard are or tight end and tackle are trying to get out and form a wall as the flanker takes that ball underneath. And it was really a great time to call it. Batavia went to a 6-2 and played a 3-deep zone. And, all he had to do was go down about 4 or 5 yards and catch that easy toss. So, again, I really like the game plan of Evergreen Park.
1 for 1 now for Shafrath. That's good for 6 yards and the first down. Man in motion coming to their side. McKenna, the first man through, gets the football. Thilgen among the tacklers as he gains a good 4, maybe 5 yards. As they're just running it right up the gut. And that's a lot of coaches like to do that the first quarter of the game to try and get that dominance.
Well, I think they're setting the tempo of the game. They're controlling the clock, they're controlling the football, and they control the tempo of the game. And again, they keep Keith Bailey on the sidelines. So this is great.
See here, 70-81. That's about 90 yards rushing already for the Mustangs. As here's a handoff to Norris, and he didn't fool anybody. Somebody missed a blocking assignment evidently right there. 77, Anthony Riddick.
I think that was supposed to be a counter play back to that weak side, and number 77 just came right in, wasn't fooled at all. Anthony Riddick, and made a big hit.
Late in the first quarter, 7-0 Evergreen Park. Get a shot of the Mustang bench. They've got to be pretty happy with the way things are going here. From the 35-yard line, right in the middle of the field. Shafrath now behind center. High formation, deep drop, looking left, now has to go right, being chased out. A good block right there, may have averted the sack, and now he's got a big hit. A lot of quarterbacks are the ones that usually will take the dive. Not Shafroth right there. He stuck the head down, and he may have injured that Batavia Bulldog defender right there. A little slow getting up, as that's the end of the first quarter. An injury down in the field. We have not been able to get the number of that Bulldog right there, but we're going to take another look at that play. And they talk about quarterbacks being in a linebacker's body. Here's the shot of it. Shafroth coming to their side. He just stuck the shoulder.
I'll tell you, he really gets his pads down and strikes. And I think he was looking to throw to the split end, and he went back inside and he got flushed, and he avoided that sack. And he's really a pretty impressive kid. And the Batavia defense too. One of their kids, I didn't catch his number, but the first guy who missed him on the sack got in and got back on the play. So that Batavia defense, there's some kids really flying around out there as well.
Ryan Filgen, the injured Bulldog, being tended to over there. It doesn't look like it might have been the hit that affected him. They're looking at his right ankle right now, and they changed sides on the field. He is still being tended to over around the 33-yard line. That's about where the tackle took place. Evergreen will get the football back. Well, now it looks like they're going to give it to him at about the 36, so really he only gained about a yard on that play. Shafroth on his first rush right there, and it'll be 4th down and a good long 3.
I think the one thing there, Brian avoided the sack and got, didn't put himself in a 3rd, 15, or 16. So
some fans for Frank Adamo. Or no, yes, indeed. That's, I think, on this side of the field, or is that on the other side? I can't quite make it out. Yes, it is. It's on the Evergreen Park side. Let's see, the Mustangs look to be going for it here. It'll be 4th down, 7 yards to go. Looking at, they got the arrows pointing the wrong way, and it messed me up a little bit there.
There you go.
First football game of the year after doing 135 baseball games. Wish we had this weather for baseball. Here's the handoff to Shafroth.
There's that counter tray again. Great hole.
Norris to the near side. He's to the 20-yard line. Knocked out of bounds at about the 18. Good for the first down. As the Mustangs continue to roll up the yardage on the ground. It'll be a gain of about, well, let's say almost 15 yards, maybe 16. Show the replay right here.
There's a great gaping hole.
Big block.
I think it was the same play they scored the touchdown on. Outstanding blocking at the point of attack, and Josh Norris is certainly proven to be a hard-nosed runner out here today.
He's got almost 100 yards rushing already. We just started the second quarter. Here's Shafroth, a quick hitter again to McKenna, and he's going to maybe gain about 5, maybe a long 4. They're going to place it down around the 14-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and, well, let's call it a short 6.
I think Evergreen Park's doing a really good job attacking inside, outside, power football, counters. They've really got a well-designed game plan.
Right now, wishbone backfield almost. A different-looking backfield there. A second man through is Norris. He's tackled by number 51, Scott Johnson. A flag on the play, and probably a holding call where that flag is. They're pointing the other way, and looks like the Mustangs are going to lose a few.
I think it was the tight end.
So they're going to send it back a few yards. And it'll be 2nd down again for the Evergreen Park Mustangs. I believe they haven't walked anything off yet.
2nd and about 6.
Now they are going to walk it off. Or are they? They haven't. The officials, it's still early in the season for them as well, and they're still trying to figure out, well, where do you start walking this one off from?
There they go.
Here we go now. The Zebras holding on the offense right there. It'll be 2nd down, and that's a big penalty there, a 10-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd down and very long, about 15 yards.
Well, I'm anxious to see how Coach Nelson attacks this right now. With the 2nd and long, is he going to stay with the ground game, or is he going to, try and put it up in the air? Let's see how they're aligned. They got 2 wide receivers to the field.
2 men to the left right there. High formation backfield. Norris very deep. Shafrath hands off to McKenna. Back up the middle. Tackled over there by number 53.
Well coached offensive line, Dave. They're really doing a nice job coming off the ball. The center's blocking back. The guard's stepping up onto the linebacker, and they're pounding Tim McKenna in there. And again, all the while, Keith Bailey's on the other side.
Trying to figure out who number 53 is. We don't have him on the roster. And run into that problem in minor league baseball. And maybe I can get Les Hodge, the fine writer for the Kane County Chronicle, who I have met during my days with the Kane County Cougars. He's here covering the football game for the Batavia Bulldogs. Chance to say hi to Les prior to the ball game. So timeout on the field. The Evergreen Park Mustangs calling for time. They've a big decision to make here. It'll be 3rd down and still about 14 yards to go. They're going into the wind, and there are very few high school kickers who can even make it that far with the wind behind them. So it's going to be, this is 2-down territory, I'd have to say, for the Mustangs.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. I think the key thing is don't turn the ball over. If they feel they have something, set up here for this area of the field, I'm sure that they'll go to it. But, aside from the one holding penalty, they've played awfully well. And, I think right here, you don't want to get a big sack if he's not real confident, throwing the ball right now. Some of those running plays are outstanding. So, he may run twice.
Ray Decker out there with Manderfeld and Kirshner. Probably going to go with 3 wide receivers in this situation right here. Still talking things over. Brent Nelson talking to his troops. Just underway here in the second quarter, 7-0 in favor of the Evergreen Park Mustangs. Very first play from scrimmage for the Mustangs, who had watched Batavia do not much of anything on their first set of downs. Josh Norris went wide, and next thing you knew, he was in the end zone. 3rd down, 14. Here's the snap, flip to Norris. Going wide, he's got some blockers, cuts it up a little bit soon, and now back to about the 15-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play. That'll cut that yardage in half. It'll still be 4th down and 8.
Well, the flanker came in and cracked on the, he's an outside linebacker, strong safety, whatever the terminology is, and did a real nice job allowing Norris to get to the outside.
Well, let's see if we got a replay on that. Our director, Vince Polini, saying indeed we do. And there's Norris breaking a couple of tackles and finally hauled down.
Kids in the Batavia secondary are really coming out, hitting hard.
Mike Smith made the tackle. It looks like we're going to have a field goal here. They're going to place it at about the 22, so that'll make it a 32-yard field goal. Here's the snap, the kick, and it is up, and it is just short. That wind knocked it down. Zadano had it going to the uprights, but he left it a couple of yards short. So the Bulldogs will take over at their own 20-yard line. So an attempt there for Zadano, no good on a 32-yard attempt. He put it up there. It had a chance.
Kicked the ball well. Now it's really important for Batavia to get a couple first downs right now and get Bailey a little bit in the flow and the rhythm of the game.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 20-yard line. High backfield. Here's the first man through again, Osprey, and he's tackled over there. Number 32, McKenna, in on the tackle. Nate Osprey, 5'9", 165-pound junior, so he'll be back next year for Mike Gasberry. A junior-dominated team for those Redskins. A number of the guys on the offensive line also juniors. Ryan Doe, Jeremiah Cheney. That's the defensive line. Andy Anderson, Brad Schwab, Justin Williams. Here's a pass up the middle, tipped in the air, and nobody able to get there for Evergreen Park. The closest man to it turned out to be a man in the black. So it's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, Corey Andres was trying to go to the tight end inside. They're running a little hitch out there with the flanker and trying to get the ball into the tight end. And one of the defensive linemen got their hands up.
3rd down, my mistake, and 6 yards to go. Lining up in the wishbone now. Andres takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Bailey. Rolls out to the right side, now has some running room before he's hauled down at about the 36-yard line. It'll be good enough for the first down as he gained about 15. So a good job by the quarterback right there.
Very, very nice. It's a little waggle play where the action in the backfield went one way. Corey took the ball and rolled, and I think he had some people open downfield as well. But if you have that yard, open space right in front of you, just go ahead and get that first down. Did a nice job.
First and 10 from the 36-yard line.
I think he's got a B in his helmet.
Bob Dazzo is ripping off the helmet there. There have been a few B's around here today.
I think Bob had it in his helmet.
Finally able to take care of that situation there.
They're in a one back, and Bailey's in a little slot position now.
A lot of men on that line of scrimmage for the Mustangs, and right there, Nostri breaks through them all before hauled down by Kirshner here at about the 48-yard line. So another big gain of about 11 for Ostry. Another first down for the Bulldogs, who are now starting to move the football a little bit on the Mustangs.
Yeah.
Here's the replay again. Ostry just finds that hole. Good job by the offensive line to get that hole right there. As we mentioned, they had a lot of people there.
Brad Schwab's outstanding blocking at the point of attack on that play.
Here's a fake again, and again Bailey trying to make something out of nothing. And right there, a big tackle by number 98, Dave Fada. Loss of about 15, and Bailey's having a lot of time. He's doing a lot of east to west instead of north to south.
It's a good job by the Evergreen Park defense again. They faked inside and tried to lure him in and handed the ball off to Bailey.
That line blocking, we just complimented him just a couple of minutes ago. And, a lot of times linemen would rather have those straight-ahead type guys like Ostry because they know their assignments and they know exactly where the guy's going to go. Guys like Bailey, who like to make things up a little bit, really can drive linemen a little crazy.
They really got to just try and stay on their feet. And now Evergreen's twisting inside there.
Andre's looking to pass, and he had the intended receiver, number 31, Osprey, and he couldn't hold on to it. Good job by Zerwinski and Borales on the coverage. Incomplete pass, and it'll be third down and long.
Now on that play, the down lineman of Evergreen Park ran a little X or a twist, or you see that in professional football all the time, just trying to confuse the Batavia offense.
Wishbone backfield. In motion to the near side is Bob Dazzo. I formation. Andre's dropping back to pass. He's got some pressure. Lofts it up in the air. And he had a couple of defenders going after it. Both Kirshner and another defender going after it. And it got through both of them. And I think right there, the wide receiver, Ben Kirchhoff, did not think the ball was going to get to it. And it actually went into his hands, and he couldn't hold on.
They're pretty lucky right there. I mean, two Evergreen Park defenders had shots at that. I think had they intercepted it, they'd have gone for a touchdown.
So fourth down and 20. Two men deep for the Evergreen Park Mustangs, number 34, and that is Chris Califoot. He is the man that is very deep. He is joined over there by number 30, Kevin Borales. Dropping back the punt, Mike Pingle. He got a good one off over toward the sideline. It'll go out at about the 16-yard line. So pretty good punt there from the 40 to the 15. And see here, that's 10 plus 30, 45-yard punt with the bounce. Not bad at all.
Very nice. I think he kicked it away from the return man, and he got a little bounce on it. So that's a good job now. Good job of field position here by Batavia. They got a few first downs. They're moving the ball a little bit. Now they've got Evergreen Park here on their own 15.
So Evergreen going to start it. First and 10 for the 15-yard line. Evergreen wearing the black, Batavia in the white jerseys. We're here at Evergreen Park High School in Evergreen Park, Illinois. Dave Wills along with Bob Fabrizio. Our first football game of the 1992 season here on Multimedia Cablevision. Right there, the handoff to the first man through. Again, number 32, Tim McKenna. He may have gained a hard-earned yard or two.
Right now, the Evergreen Park offense has got to try and get off first down right now to get 10 yards, move it, move the chains, and get it out of their own area here a little bit. So even if they have to punt the ball away into that wind, they're not going to give up the good field position.
Number 29, Ray Decker, coming in for number 43, Brad Manderfeld, in this situation. Kirshner to the near side. Decker going to the far side. Shafrath calling out the signals. Now a flip to Norris. He's going to the far side, has a couple of blockers, but he couldn't break the one tackle right there. Good tackle there right by the Batavia Bulldogs. Looked like it was number 82. Bob Dazzo doing.
Justin Williams, number 81, did a nice job of really constricting that running lane and allowed Bob Dazzo to come up there and make the hit. But he did a nice job fending off the blocker at the point of attack and constricted the lane. And like I said, I think I'm really impressed with the Batavia kids and how they come up out of the secondary and hit.
Brett Nelson trying to get somebody's attention over there. He's on the near sideline. Shafrath takes the snap, gives it to McKenna. He gains, let's say, maybe 6, but it'll be short of the first down, I believe. It'll be short, well, maybe just a little bit. Now
I think he's got it.
The set of the ball, the way they put where they put the football, might give Evergreen Park the first down. They're going to bring the chains out right now. The chain gang in the shorts coming out. That extra effort right there by McKenna may have gotten them the first down. Take a look here. The chains coming out. It'll be a couple of links short. Ooh, they stretched those links out pretty good, and this is the big first call of the day for Brett Nelson, and he's going to do the conservative thing. He's going to punt it away, I believe.
He's going to do the right thing.
So he'll punt it. 5 minutes to go in this first half of play. 7-0 Evergreen Park. They scored on their first play from scrimmage today. Josh Norris going around end for about a 70-yard touchdown. Back to punt, Matt Zdano.
Looks like Batavia's going to come after it.
They've got 10 men up, and now they're going to drop back in a punt block formation. Here's the ball, and it hit Batavia's player, and good job there by the deep man for Batavia. Number 82, Bob Dazzo. He saw that it had hit somebody, and he just pounced on that football.
That's really difficult. When that happens, that return man's got to start yelling right away, short, it's short, it's short. And the people coming down blocking have got to try and turn and find out, where the football is at that time.
There it is. You saw it hit the
43.
The up man, number 43, was the first guy to touch it, Mike Smith, and he didn't even know the football was right there. He had his back to the play.
I think the return man's really got to start screaming at the top of his lungs and let him know that it's a short kick and try to, find the football.
Mike Gasberry said he was going to show him multiple of the looks, and he does right there. As the handoff again to Ostry, and he may have gained a couple. It'll be second down. We'll give him 2 on the play. He's been their big man. Bailey has had trouble getting on track. He gained 6 yards on his first carry, a yard on his second. Since then, -6, -4, and -15.
Well, I think the combination of Evergreen Park's fine defense and their ability to control the football makes it a little difficult for him to get on track.
Bailey, the deep back, in the I formation. As Andre takes the snap, here's the option over to Bailey, near side, and again, good coverage. Led by number 30, Kevin Borales. And he wrapped him up. Kirshner also there, and Califoot, everybody wearing black. And again, Bailey having trouble finding the hole. He may have lost a yard or 2. It'll be third down and a long 11.
They're really doing a nice job keeping the Batavia offensive linemen off their body. They're extending their arms. They're locking out. Their separation. They got good body lean. They're really well coached.
3rd and 11 from the 45-yard line of the Batavia Bulldogs. Andre's back to pass. Now he ducks in, gains a couple, now dives toward the 45, make that the 50-yard line, and he's going to be short of the first down by plenty. Gained maybe 5 on the play. We'll give him 5, and it'll be 4th down and 5 to go, and going again back to kick it off will be Mike Pingle. Again, deep is Califoot and Borales. Califoot the deep back, Borales the up back. Now they're going to split it a little bit. Brett Nelson says, let's spread it out. Dingle takes a floater of a snap. Good rush, but he got a great kickoff. Morales calling for it at the 20. He's to the 30. 35. He's tackled out of bounds at the 36, but there's a flag on the play. It'll be a clip.
I think it was a clip. That's a great job by Morales catching that ball and you know, coming up and getting good field position, but unfortunately, you know, you preach about that. But that's an effort thing by one of the kids. He's really working hard, and he just didn't quite get his head across. And
so that will negate about a 17-yard return, and it'll send it back a number of yards. They're talking it over with the Redskin players right now as you get a look. You had a look at the Evergreen Park bench. Now you get a look at the referee moving the ball back a little bit. Some laundry on the field, 7-0 here in favor of Evergreen Park. And outside of that first play, it's almost been a war of attrition between these two teams. They're trying, they say, you know, pardon the cliche, but football is a game that's won or lost in the trenches, and right now they're trying to get that figured out.
They're evenly matched. I think Evergreen's got a slight edge right now. It's just in terms of time of possession, but you know, if Batavia goes in down 7-0, I think they're going to be fine. They're in the ball game. I'm anxious to see what they're going to do right now. If they're going to try and use their timeouts, as Evergreen's going to try and punch it out here, I'm sure.
About 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Evergreen
There's
from
a
their
counter
own 10.
play again.
Norris to the 15. Stumbles and rumbles his way to about the 17-yard line and gains about 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 3.
One thing about that counter play, the linebackers have got to be very disciplined and read their keys. If they look into the backfield, you know, sometimes I think they get caught up in that action, and next thing you know, the ball's gone, and you know, there's some good angles for blocks in there. So they're doing a nice job.
Around 2 minutes to go. It's second down and call it a long 2. Hand off to the first man through. McKenna, he's to the 25 and rolls his way around the tackle of number 77, Anthony Riddick. Gains about 5 on the play. It'll be good for a first down as the Mustangs pick up. Once again, every time I mention a stat, this is about as unofficial as you can get, but I've got about 7 first downs for the Mustangs. Good job by McKenna, a gain of 5 on the play, and he's got about 23 yards rushing today. Almost 100 yards rushing already for the Evergreen Park Mustangs. Here's a quick hitter. Number 43, Manderfeld, breaks a tackle, comes to the near side. Now trying to get to the 25, tackled at about the 23-yard line by number 10 for the Batavia Bulldogs, Corey Andres, doing some two-way work himself.
It was a little flanker quick out to the perimeter, trying to, again, fake inside, get the ball out to the flanker, and then have the offensive lineman come downfield and throw blocks as he runs underneath those blocks.
Loss of about 2 on the play. So Manderfeld with his second reception of the game. Only the second pass of the day for Evergreen Park. They've been doing a majority of their offense on the ground. Timeout on the field. About a minute and a half to go in this first half of play and our first game here on multimedia. We hope to have at least 6 games here. 7-0 second quarter on multimedia this year. We will be off next week, and then we will be on to a number of games. Shepherd and Oak Lawn on our schedule. Carl, Sandburg, and Richards, which promises to be
always
a great football game.
Always.
We're going to go to Lyle and do Lyle and Reed Custer this year. We're also, as I mentioned, Oak Lawn and Shepherd, the Oak Lawn Spartans with a new head coach, John Robinson, trying to pick up from their great season last year. And at Richards, a lot of people counting Gary Corhonen and crew out, but they had a big one yesterday. Here's the handoff to Norris, and he's tackled again by number 41, Ryan Filgen, and number 80, Ben Dunn.
Ben did a real nice job there, constricting the hole, holding his ground, really hand fighting at the line of scrimmage, and allowing the linebackers to get in and make the hit.
Gain of a couple. It'll be third down in a, let's say, 9.
Well, Batavia's using its timeout. They're doing a good job right here. They'll probably call another one right after this play if they stop them, and I would anticipate they're going to try and go ahead and block the punt.
Mike Gasperi, the head coach for the Batavia Bulldogs, and coach, he went through a tough week last week. 53-0 loss. The Morris, Dan Darlington, they've got another strong squad at that Morris school, and anytime you lose it's hard, but when you lose 53-0, I think you want to strap those shoulder pads and those helmets on and get right back out there as soon as you can.
Yeah, I think the thing is, you want to do a few things well, get some confidence in a couple things, and you know, even in a loss like that, there's some things you can point out to the kids that they did well. But I just think you got to get back on the field. It's over. It doesn't matter if you lose 7-6 or 53-0. It's one loss, so they got to put it behind them and go on and go.
So it'll be 3rd down, 9 yards to go from the 26-yard line of the Evergreen Park Mustangs. Shafrath calling the sides now. Quick hitter to McKenna. He's got a couple. He's got some room now. One man to beat. He's going. He's to the 45, the 40. The only man that can get him is Mike Smith. He's chasing him down. He will not get him. Touchdown, Mustangs. A 75-yard touchdown run. 13-0 in favor of the Mustangs. So you take away 2 plays in this football game, and it's no score. But as Brent Nelson will be the first one to point out, you can't do that.
You know, they've played pretty good defense, actually. Batavia has, but they've got some good schemes going against them inside there.
We got the replay as they line up for the extra point. Here it is.
Trap blocking inside. I think that's number 67 for Evergreen with a real
there,
nice
you
block.
saw Smith had a chance, and he couldn't get him. As right there, McKenna, the old saying, wasn't it, Satchel Paige? Don't look back, somebody may be gaining on you. Kept on peeking over that shoulder and saw Smith right there and started to do the old zigzag.
This guy's playing both ways every down. God bless him. Having enough speed to take that thing all the way.
Well, the kick by Zadano was good, so it's 14-0 now in favor of Evergreen Park. About a minute to go in this first half of play, and a 70-yard play from the first play of scrimmage for the Mustangs gave them their first score, and now what may be their last play of the first half has put them on the board again. So the Mustangs have got to be pretty happy. They'll be heading into the locker room at halftime, up 14-0, and in a game in which it's really almost been evenly matched. You take away granted, Evergreen Park has accumulated the more first downs, and they have had the football a lot longer, but it's been 2 big plays for the Mustangs.
Well, you know, I think Batavia, hopefully for them, they're going to try and get something going here in this last minute 9 or minute 9, I think it is. It's going to be tough. I mean, you've got to have great pursuit to the football, and when you have great pursuit, that kind of helps you avoid giving up some of those big plays. And you know, the line got him into the secondary, but then at some point, you know, those kids have got to come up and make some plays, and they have been playing pretty well. But again, this is a pretty well-conceived game plan by the Mustangs.
Zadano to kick. He keeps it low. It'll squirt all the way back to number 32. That was Mark Fields, and he got the knee down. And in high school football, that means you're down.
Well, I'm anxious to see what he's going to do with Corey Andres right here, if he's going to air it out. You know, I think the last thing you want to have happen now is throw an interception or fumble the ball and then go down 21.
So they'll take the ball 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line.
I think somehow, some way, the ball's got to get into. Now this is a no-back offense, no backs whatsoever.
3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Here's the quick hitter. Got him at about the 30-yard line, and he ran it over to about the 31. Gain of a couple on the play.
I got to believe soon you're going to see the ball directed to Keith Bailey.
Mike Smith on the reception.
They're going without the huddle. They're in there.
That's the first completion in his last 4 attempts, and it's only good for a couple of yards. Andre is only 6 yards passing, once again unofficially, here in the first half.
That's a nice job by the Evergreen Park coaching staff. Perhaps they hadn't seen no-back offense from Batavia. They called a timeout, and they're going to get themselves in order. But that's a real good adjustment. Now, it's, I guess Northwestern had used a little bit of that last week against Notre Dame. And, again, I just got to believe somehow, some way, Bailey's got to get the ball here. I mean, he to me seems to be the guy who can take the ball the distance right now. And I'm anxious to see Corey, too. I'm anxious to see Corey Andres go back there and turn it loose. That last play, the 2 inside receivers ran up the field, and the wide receiver came under. And again, it's a kind of a high percentage thing, but No, they're going to have to get the ball downfield, I'd say, right now, given the time and one timeout.
Well, so far, Evergreen Park has had the only thing to cheer about. Chuck Bellini setting his sights on some of the better sights here at Evergreen Park, but the action going on down in the field. Chuck Bellini, our director.
No back again.
Down in the truck. Run by Vince Barrichello, Cello, I should say, and Daryl Peterson also over there, dropping back. Andres, he's got a rush, and he is down at about the 22-yard line. A loss of plenty on that play. It'll be a loss of almost 8 on the sack. Good job by, let's see who that was. 75, Brian Olin.
Here's the replay, Dave.
Chasing him down from behind. Andres tried to avert it, but couldn't get out of the way. You saw Olenek get there.
You're putting a lot of pressure on those offensive linemen in this particular situation. The Evergreen Park kids are teeing off. They know they're going to throw the ball.
Once again, my terrific color blindness on red and green. It's hard to go at about 26 seconds to go.
There's 26, Dave.
Yeah, about the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 15 yards to go. You get a shot of the two big running backs today, Josh Norris and Tim McKenna, getting a little break on the sideline right now. A well-deserved break for both those young men as Andres comes behind center. High backfield, handoff to Bailey. He's got some room. He's to the 30, to the 31, now tackled by a host of Mustangs down to about the 33-yard line. So he gained about 8 yards on that play, his first positive rushing attempt in 4 attempts. But it's not enough as the first half has come to an end. The Mustangs heading back to the locker room. A bunch of happy campers as they lead the Batavia Bulldogs by a score of 14-0. So one half is in the books. The Evergreen Park Mustangs on the heels of a couple of big plays. The first play from scrimmage for them, a 70-yard run by Josh Norris. The last play from scrimmage for them here in the first half, a 75-yard run by Tim McKenna. And Coach Fabrizio, I'll have to say that both teams banging it out early, but those big plays for the Mustangs, and they've been controlling the football. They have not, the key, as Brett Nelson said, the key was going to be, they probably had Keith Bailey's number 30 in pink, yellow, purple, any kind of bright colors they could have in that locker room. And they said, keep this guy intact.
He's attracting the crowd. There's no doubt about it. They're like I said, they've got great pursuit to the ball. They're disengaging with their blockers. And, I think, again, they're playing just the kind of game they want to play. They want to control the tempo, control the clock, control the football. And, some
has run it 8 times himself, and both are near the 100-yard mark. As a matter of fact, Norris already over the 100-yard mark, and McKenna fast approaching. He is probably also over the 100-yard mark as well. So we are through one half of football here in Evergreen Park, Illinois. It's the Evergreen Park Mustangs 14 and the Batavia Bulldogs nothing. Unofficial stats, first downs. You look at the stat sheet right now, and you're not really too surprised that Evergreen Park is leading 14-0 at the end of one half of play. 8 first downs to Batavia's 4. Rushing yards, the big disparity right there. 214 to 39 in favor of the Mustangs, but 150 of those yards are 2 plays.
Well, but it's spread out. The tailback and the fullback are really being utilized well in the Evergreen Park offense.
39 yards for the Bulldogs, and they have had a lot of trouble getting their big man Bailey untracked. As we mentioned, his last gain from scrimmage was 8 yards, and that was his first positive gain out of his last 5 attempts. 2 of 2 for the Mustangs offensively as far as passing is concerned, for only 4 yards. They've been going for the little stuff there. 3 of 7 for the Bulldogs, only 6. Total yards 218 for the Mustangs, 45 for the Bulldogs, and so far both sides have not committed a turnover. We're going to take another look at the touchdowns that occurred earlier. Here's the first play, actually about a 72-yard touchdown run, and just some great blocking. When you've got so many men up front, as soon as they get by that first line of defense, it's going to be trouble.
Well, they're playing an 8-man front, and they lost leverage on the football. They let it get outside their defense, and Josh took it all away.
And we'll take a look, I believe, at that second one pretty sure soon right now. As a matter of fact, here we go. That second touchdown play, another long gainer, 75 yards, as both sides get ready to line up for the second half kick. I'm not so sure if we're going to have the second one or not now. Yep. And Chuck Bellini lining up the tape, saying indeed we will. So
Well, they've run this play a lot today, and you're going to see the fullback go up inside a little fold block by his guard.
Redskins will be kicking off to the Mustangs, the first time the Redskins have kicked off today. 3 men deep, the very deep man, number 29, and that is Ray Decker. Here's the kick. It's a good one. Going to drag them way back to the end zone, and it will go into the end zone. And in high school football, that is indeed a touchback. It'll go out to the 20. Here's the look now of that second touchdown for the Mustangs.
A little trap play, and again, some poor tackling. And again, Batavia's defense loses leverage on the football, and they let it outside. So, you know, I'm sure that, you know, they've tried to go in at halftime and make some adjustments that, you know, try and slow down this running game.
Well, we were talking over halftime. What do you think Mike Gasparri was telling his Bulldogs right there?
Well, in addition to the adjustment, I think he's got to tell them to, you know, I think he told them to keep their poise, concentrate, and play one play at a time. They can't tie the game up in the first series, and just try and keep their poise. And, you know, read their keys, play as their coach. You know, they're doing a good job right here on that counter play. So, and now there's, you know, they're starting to swarm to the ball. They've got to keep leverage on the football.
Norris, the ball carrier, gain of about 2 on the play. It'll be, maybe give him 3. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. And right there on that tackle, you mentioned swarming to the ball, but I also noticed a few guys going after the football as well. They've got to force a turnover.
I really do think so. They need to make a big play, and usually big plays are the result of guys really hustling to the football and being real aggressive.
Evergreen Park, we're in the black jerseys, Batavia in the white. Here's a handoff to Norris. He goes to the far side. He's to about the 30, 35, 37-yard line as he grabs and takes the defender number 11. Jeff Adams for an additional couple yards. It'll be another big gain, and it'll be another first down for Evergreen Park. Their 9th of the afternoon.
This is really, really important for Evergreen as well to come out. I'm sure Coach Nelson told them play hard every minute. Be hungry, you know, the game's 0-0, just go out and win the second half as well. And they come right out. And again, I think that Batavia's going to have to make an adjustment to keep the ball back inside now.
Gain of 14 on the play. First down and 10. Shafrath takes the snap, hands off to the first man through, and that is number 30.
He's gone, baby.
He breaks a couple of tackles, and he is gone.
It's a Barry Sanders. Oh, my.
Right there. There was a sea of white, and next thing you knew, McKenna was all by himself in for another long score. And we'll go down from the 37 to the goal line. That tabulates out to 63 yards for another touchdown, and it's now 20-0 in favor of Evergreen Park. And you said it right there. I did the same thing. I was at that Bears game. I saw Barry Sanders, I so-called get wrapped up, started to look down, and next thing you knew, he's out of there.
Well, if in fact they were going for the football, nobody wrapped him up, nobody wrapped McKenna up, and he is really, really an impressive back.
Lodano for the point after. Here's the snap, the kick is up, and it is good. 21-0 in favor of Evergreen Park. And the Mustangs, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, we take a look at this. The Mustangs, we're hoping to be able to do this as we see them line up. It was 1st and 10 from the 33, and
same little fold
right there. Look at that. There's everybody, and there he goes right there. I saw number 41.
That's a great job by the cameraman.
Ryan Thilgen. Also number 44, Josh Johnson, came in there, and what a job by Tim McKenna. And kudos to our camera people. They could have easily have lost sight of that play, but they were able to keep their eye on the ball carrier, and he rumbled and stumbled his way 63 yards for the score. So
that's great effort by McKenna.
So McKenna, his last 2 times he has touched the football, has rushed for 138 yards.
Not a bad day's work.
Even Marshall Falk doesn't do that, and he's with San Diego State.
He gets it about 42 times a game, though.
So Evergreen Park leading at 21-0. Another good drive for the Evergreen Park Mustangs. It lasted all of 4 plays and covered 80 yards.
I'm anxious. I think they'll kick away from Bailey again.
Bailey, the deep man. Lodano getting ready to kick off. Number 13 puts the foot into it. Has a floater. It will go back to Bailey. He'll take it at about the 18-yard line. Looking for a little room. He tried to get through the hole, and a big tackle there by number 43, Brad Manderfeld.
Ooh.
Bailey was one juke away from maybe breaking a big one, but Manderfeld wrapped him up. And we were talking at halftime, Batavia having a little trouble with the tackling game, and whenever you've got a marquee running back like Bailey, you've got to wrap him up. You cannot try and just arm tackle him or make the one-handed tackle. You've got to really wrap him up.
He really hit him hard and wrapped, and that was textbook.
So Batavia with the football for the first time here in the second half. They are facing a big hurdle. They're down 21, and a big hit put on by number 30, Kevin Morales. He got the old shoulder pads into the shoulder pads, and he sent Bailey back. And Bailey a little upset with himself as he goes back to the huddle. Here's the replay here. The old shoulder pads and lifted him up a little bit.
It was a nice play.
So he lost a yard on the play. Bailey really having a tough time today. He's in the deep spot of the eye. Here's a leaping pass. The old Y.A. Tittle pass, it looked like right there. My goodness. And it falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
This is critical right here that they don't turn the ball over. I think he's got to get Corey Andrus on the roll a little bit. I think that's, that's what he does best.
Well, when you've had trouble getting the running game started like they have today, Mike Gasperri mentioned over the week that he likes to play action, likes to be able to roll out Andres there. There's a handoff, first man through, and
fullback trap. They're trying to just maybe catch a defense in some kind of stunt or pass rush and just pop one up the middle.
Gain of about a yard for Ostry, but that'll leave them at 4th and 10. So a definite punting situation right here. But when you can't get the running game going, well, then that play action doesn't do anything because they know you're going to be passing.
No, I'm sure the Evergreen Park defenders are, they're not going to bite too much on play action, especially if it's long yards. They've got to get Bailey untracked, and the Evergreen Park defenders are just doing a real good job coming off those blocks.
Another floater of a snap, but yet another good kick by Mike Pingle.
Oh, my.
Taken by number 34, Chris Califoot. He takes it at about the 36-yard line and takes it out to about midfield to the 50.
Well, I'll tell you, Kevin Morales just went up there and he knocked one of the Batavia people right flat on his back. That's a great job.
Pingle doing a nice job kicking the football today when he's got the wind going with him, and he launched that one down to about the 36, but another gain. Good run back. About 14 yards for Califoot right there, and the Evergreen Park Mustangs have a good field position as they start their second drive of the second half. 21-0 Evergreen Park. Here's the handoff to McKenna. Flag down. He gains about 3. Let's see what the flag's going to be as they call the penalty, illegal motion against the Evergreen Park Mustangs.
They have not made many mistakes all day, and that's certainly not something you want to have happen, and especially not on first down.
Well, we've talked about this a lot of time. When you talk about field position, you start getting that ball at the 35 to 40-yard line. All of a sudden, you're playing on a smaller field than the opponents.
Absolutely.
You've only got so many yards to go to score. Well, opponents have a long way to go. A great day for football here in Evergreen Park, Illinois. You see a lot of the fans wearing the T-shirts. A sunny day, temperatures in the mid-70s. A bit of a breeze making it very, very comfortable to be outside. This is one of those days where we should be doing the game from the bleachers.
Be great.
So it'll be 1st down and 15 from their own 45-yard line. Shafrath again, the quick handoff to McKenna, and he gains maybe a yard with his forward progress. Tackled by number 51, Scott Johnson on the play, and it'll be a gain of, give him a yard. 2nd down and 14 to go. So McKenna being held in check a little bit right there after gaining 138
That's unbelievable.
yards on his last 2 carries. He gained only 1 there. 2nd down, 14.
Little play action pass,
floater.
nicely done.
To Dave Fada, I believe. Or it was it?
I think it was Dave.
Yes, indeed. Number 98, Dave Fada, who caught the only scoring play in last week's game. And here's the replay.
They stopped McKenna on the previous play. The linebackers really attacked the ball. Good job by the people in the press box at Evergreen Park. They saw it and went right to the Y seam, down the pipe. And you know, they're doing a good job attacking this defense.
Gain of about almost 10 on the play. It'll be third down and a long yard. Here's the handoff to Norris. He tries to go the far side. He breaks a couple of tackles, is hit, but he gets enough for the first down. It'll be a gain of about 6. And Norris gives Evergreen Park yet another first down.
The Evergreen Park wide receiver's coming in and he's cracking. He's blocking back on in the Batavia defensive end or outside linebacker, and that's how they're getting the ball to the perimeter. That kid's got to be alerted from the other people in the secondary that the block's coming down on him, and I think he's got to get up the field a little bit more and make sure he's not so susceptible to that.
First down, 10 yards to go. Mustangs in Batavia
on a blitz
territory as they caught the blitz right there. Looked like Norris, the ball carrier, carries it over the 35 to the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of about, call it 4, and it'll be second down and 6 yards to go. So they're mixing it up a little bit on this drive, the Mustangs
I think Corey Andres is in playing defense now.
He has been, yes. Andres playing one of the safety positions. You get a shot right there of number 80, Ben Duck, for the Batavia Bulldogs. Here's Norris again. Started inside, now breaks outside, breaks a tackle. He's to the 20, the 15, the 10. Touchdown, Evergreen! Flag on the play, though, and now that may take the touchdown back. The flag down around the 10-yard line.
Boy.
And maybe a hold in that situation, and that's exactly what you would not want to see for Evergreen.
Clip.
They're going to call it an Eagle block. Maybe we can see it on the replay here. There's Norris getting outside again. And let's see.
He blocked behind the football. I mean, he was in the end zone. I mean, it was a, you know, on one hand, it was an aggressive play by somebody working downfield to throw the block, but he blocked well behind the ball. It was unnecessary. You know, he was already in the end zone.
So that'll bring it back. We get the football back to the 25-yard line.
Now, they had been running that counter inside a little bit more, and this time Josh Norris bounced it. So the tight end is really doing a good job blocking over, you know, on Batavia's outside linebacker.
So they'll give him the first down, I believe. They'll just take it back to the 25. So instead of 6 points on the board, it'll be 1st and 10 from Batavia's 25-yard line. 21-0 in favor of Evergreen Park here in the third quarter of play. Mustangs with the football. Shafrath behind center, trying to bring the Batavia Bulldogs off sides. Here's the snap, handoff to Norris. Pretty much the same play, and he will go again for the touchdown. So the first you don't succeed, try again. 27-0 in favor of Evergreen Park. Norris bringing that one from 25 yards out. And here's the replay.
It's that counter play to the split end side. Again, he follows his blocking, does a nice job. And this, what a day he's had.
He's got a touchdown run of 70 and a touchdown run of 25, and his counterpart Tim McKenna has touchdown runs of 75 and 63. For the point after is Adano trying to make it 28-0. The kick is up and it's good, and indeed it is in fact the Mustangs 28, the Bulldogs nothing. As we are about halfway through here in the third quarter of play. So the Mustangs may be remembering a little bit of last year, and they're happy that they are on the other side of the scoreboard today. That's for sure. A very happy Mustang bench right now.
I'll tell you, Batavia really faces a great challenge right now. They, you know, they're behind by quite a bit, and you know, they haven't had a lot of success. You know, this is really a challenge to Coach Gasperi and his kids out there. Now they got to continue to play hard again, try and find something that's going, have some success in just one little phase of something, so they can point to it. But you know, Evergreen's really dominated today, and you know, they're doing a nice job attacking this defense.
Okay, this is a team, the Batavia Bulldogs, who have now in a game and a half have yet to score. And you start to think, well, maybe this game might be over with. But now you got to start looking for the remainder of the 1992 season, and you've got to start working on things that you can build on for the remainder of the year.
Well, I think, like I said, if they can get one or two things that they're going to do well, in the remainder of this game, get some success. I really think it's going to have to be with Keith Bailey. And at this point, if you're going to have Corey Andrews or Andres throw the ball, then, now's as good a time as any to give him some experience to throw in the football right now. But, this is a challenge right now, I'll tell you.
So Zadano getting ready to kick it off from the 40-yard line. Bailey again, the man deep. Zadano getting everybody ready to go as he watches his Mustangs get down in the stance. Here's the kickoff, and it's up in the air, and it's going to be taken by one of the upbacks, number 32, Mark Fields. Took it at about the 25-yard line. Breaks a couple of tackles now up.
And he's battling. There's a young man who hasn't given up at all. That guy. So, and that's exactly what they've got to do. Just keep on playing hard.
They'll start at their own 38, down 28-0. Here in the third quarter at Evergreen Park. Along with Bob Fabrizio, I'm Dave Wills. We're glad you joined us for our first game here of the 1992 season on multimedia Cablevision. High formation splits to the left and right as Bailey the deep man. Andre stepping back, couple of steps back to number 43 on the completion, and that is Mike Smith. Makes the catch, brings it out to about the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 7, so we'll have second down at 3.
Second down and 4.
So that is the 4th completion of the day for Corey Andres. Second down, and call it a long 3, maybe a short 4. Andre stepping back, 3-step drop, lifts it up again, and it's again caught by Mike Smith.
I'll tell you, Corey stayed in there really nicely. He had pressure right in his face, and the Evergreen Park defender jumped, but he hung in there and threw a very nice pass.
So that'll be another gain. Good enough for the first down. Their first down of the second half for the Batavia Bulldogs. Call it maybe 6, and now they're at inside Mustang territory at the 48. Andre stepping back, a deep drop. He's got a rush. He's got some trouble. Breaks a couple of tackles and then takes a big hit. Jim Zerwinski on the big hit, and Andre's a little slow getting up, but now he's back up on his feet.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
Here's the
he
replay.
Took a pretty good hit. He's got to step up in there when he gets that outside pressure. He's got to step up, and they're just swarming right now. The Evergreen Park kids know they've got to throw the ball to have any hope in this game, and they're really coming after him. That down 4 for Evergreen is really getting off the ball.
Great job by the crew on that coverage right there. They showed you the big hit, showed you everything developing there. Here's the snap on
the option play.
A little rollout to the right, breaks a couple of tackles, fights his way to about the 50-yard line. So he's trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Still going to be about 3 yards short. It'll be 3rd and, well, call it 14. Gained a few on that play. Call it maybe a gain of 4. So it'll be 3rd down and 14 yards to go here at midfield. 28-0 Evergreen Park. Andre's trying to get his troops going here. The Bulldogs got it. Handoff, and it's a ball down on the grass, and Bailey able to go and get it. An ill-advised option flip right there by Andres.
Well, one of the things you don't like to see happen in the option is that great penetration, and I think it was the defensive end came off the block, and he forced the pitch, and one of those situations you're almost better off holding on.
Chris Califoot and Kevin Borales, the men deep. Borales, the up back. Califoot setting up at about his own 19-yard line. Here's the snap to Pingle. He kicks a little knuckler that Califoot comes up and bobbles and put it right into the hand, I believe, of number 82, Bob Dazzo. He probably would have been better advised to fair catch that one. He tried to make the catch, and it looked like it bounced right off his shoulder pads and into Dazzo's hands.
You know, I think that ball was going to be caught below his waist, and that's usually trouble. He would have been better off had he fair catch the ball, but they've been doing a good job catching those punts all day, and he's an aggressive player, so you know, sometimes that's going to happen. But usually if you catch it below your waist, it's tough.
There it was, right around thigh level, and it looked like he may have even kicked it out himself and right into the hands of Dazzo. So the big turnover and a new quarterback as they hand off to Bailey. He gets it from the 30-yard line, brings it out to about the 24, maybe 23. It'll be a gain of, let's call it 6. 2nd down and 4. So a new quarterback now, Jeff Adams. He got the start last week against the Morris Redskins. Adams, 6'1", 185-pound junior. So Adams coming on in replace of Corey Andres, who may be seeing some stars after some of the hits he took that last series. He drops back, passes, has Dazzo, and he's hit immediately by number 28, Chris Groby. Groby, 5'10", 165. He's an aggressive hitter right there, a senior defensive back. Gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Well, it's a nice, safe pass for Jeff Adams to come in and throw and, you know, get a little confidence.
Well, Adams on his first attempt, complete. Here's the handoff. First man through, Osprey, and he might get it. Looks like he was able to
Evergreen was stunning up front. They're, you know, really pinching it down. But I think, you know, there's the offensive line surge, got him the first down.
So Osprey gaining a couple. That's good enough for the first down. And the deepest penetration of the afternoon for the Batavia Bulldogs. They are inside the so-called red zone right now. It'll be 1st down and 10 yards to go from about the 19. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Been a breezy afternoon here. Near side, the Bulldogs set up. Hand off to Bailey. He breaks the tackle, tries to get around end. The swarming defense of the Mustangs are not going to let him do it. A number of Evergreen Park men on the tackle, led by number 59, Jim Zerwinski. May have lost a couple again, maybe even 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 13 yards to go from the 22-yard line.
Zerwinski's penetrating, and he's disrupting the timing on that play, and he's forcing Bailey to bounce it, and that gives the other defenders from Evergreen Park an opportunity to come up and make that hit.
2nd down, 13. Adams dropping back, a deep drop, and he is crushed in a fumble, and it's recovered by Evergreen Park. A big hit, and it loosened the football from Adams, and we had a turnover 3 first half. There's been 2 here in the second. Here's the replay. Adams dropped back, and he just took a big hit by number 67, Frank Adamo. And then loosened the football from him, and they're able to come up with that loose ball. So Batavia had their best drive of the day going. And it's all for naught on the fumble by their quarterback, Jeff Adams. So Evergreen Park with the football again. 1st down and 10 from the 32-yard line. Handoff is to number 32, Tim McKenna, and he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter. The Evergreen Park Mustangs with the football again. Got a couple of big drives and a number of big runs today. 3 quarters are in the books. It's 28-0 in favor of the Evergreen Park Mustangs, and each touchdown run, Bob, has been a big one. We've got a touchdown run of 75, 63, 25, and 70.
You know, the Evergreen Park kids have really done a good job attacking the defense. You know, they've been able to get the ball outside the Batavia defense a couple times, and you know, I do think that you know, Coach Nelson certainly made a great decision with you know, going to the I formation and running the counters and running the fullback and you know, utilizing his talents, because you know, you got a good offensive line coming off the ball, and both those kids are very talented running backs, so I certainly understand why, you know, he wanted to feature those two.
So we're into the final quarter of play here at Evergreen Park High School, 28-0 in favor of the Mustangs. The Mustangs trying to run their record to 2-0 and come to within one victory of their entire output of the 1992 season, while the Batavia Bulldogs still trying to pick up their first win of the season. But I think more importantly right now, they're still trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time here in 1992. They had a chance on that last series before Jeff Adams, and no fault of his own. He was crunched. He
really did. I think to have success throwing the football right now, you know, against this kind of rush, it's got to be three-step, and you know, something that his linemen can protect a little bit better, because, you know, they're just teeing it up now.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Shaprath hands off to number 35, Josh Norris. He brings it out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. May have gained a couple.
They ran the counter again to the split inside. Justin Williams coming in, forcing the thing back inside. If he came a little tighter, then I think he could have made the hit right off.
Well, as a matter of fact, the way they're spotting the football, he may not even have gained a yard. It's right back to the line of scrimmage. They've run 3 plays, and for naught. Third down and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 31-yard line. Shaprath takes it, hands off to the first man through, Tim McKenna. And McKenna gets maybe a yard. It'll be 4th and 9. So a good job by the Batavia defense right there. They really covered up a lot of holes.
That's good. I mean, I think you got to encourage those kids when they come on. Every time they have a series where something good happens, you got to encourage them now.
They brought some big men out for that last set. 72, Tim Ledbetter. 6'2", 300 pounds. He's able to clog up a few holes there. Matt Sedano to punt. I believe this is his first punt of the day. Yeah. Fumbles the football, and Batavia's got it. He kicked, fumbled the snap, and then kicked it while it was on the ground, and it went right in the 4 awaiting white shirts. And Batavia with a big break, as they will get the football at the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 24. Here's the replay right here. I think Sedano just did the old take the eye off the ball.
I think he did. He was just a little anxious there and dropped it.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the Mustang 24. Adams, a 3-step drop. He's got his receiver on the near side. That is number 85, Ben Kirchhoff. And he takes it inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Gain of 7. And Adams, 2 for 2 early on.
I think that's the best bet for those kids right now, is to 3-step and give his young offensive line in there a chance to protect and you know, get the ball off quicker and avoid those sacks.
So it'll be 2nd down, a long 3. Adams behind center, calling for it, hands it off to the second man through, number 32 for Batavia is Mark Fields, a 5'7" senior, 155 pounds. May have just barely got it back to the line of scrimmage. Fields didn't get anything on that one, and it'll be 3rd down and still maybe calling around 4. So the Mustangs with their backs up against the wall as far as trying to keep the shutout going. They lead it 28-0. We're under 10 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Hand off to number 31, Nate Ostry, and he stumbles and rumbles his way just shy of the 15-yard line. It'll be still a yard short for the 1st down, and right now Mike Gasperi has no other decision but to go for it.
Absolutely. You know, he's got to go right now, and you know, hopefully if for there they could get a 1st down and maybe punch one in, and you know, on the Evergreen side of the ball, I'm sure they're anxious to defend that shutout and you know, not give up the point. They're going to stunt.
4th and 1. Handoff to Ostry. He's over the 15 down to about the 12. Good enough for the 1st down. And give him 5 yards on that carry.
Mustangs pinched the middle, and Ostry did a real nice job of bouncing that ball outside and getting the 1st.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're And their deepest penetration now from about the 12-yard line. Jeff Adams doing a nice job leading the offense right here. Now steps back, 3-step drop. He's got Dazzo on the far side. He makes the catch out of about the 8-yard line, maybe gets down to the 7. It'll be gain of about 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5.
In this particular defense, I think, he's got to go ahead and throw those 3-steppers. He's got to throw the ball in the flat, which he's doing. So he's come, off the bench and really done well.
2nd and 5 from the 7. Adams now waits. Here's the snap. First man through. Ostry tries to break a tackle, and he was wrapped up by Brian Olenek right there. And Brian dragged him down after a minimal gain of maybe a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down and call it 4 from the 6. So Ostry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 carries so far today. He's been getting the bulk of the running since Bailey has yet to be able to get on track. Ostry again takes the fake handoff, as keeping it this time is Adams. He was able to struggle his way for maybe a yard, maybe nothing.
It was a little quarterback follow, Dave, and where he faked to the fullback and tucked the ball up right in behind the fullback, using him as a blocker. But I think he got tangled up a little bit. And
so Adams just barely able to get him back to the line of scrimmage, and now timeout called by Batavia. They want to try and get on the scoreboard. They trail it 28-0. About 7 minutes to go here in the ball game here in Evergreen Park, Illinois. Mustangs trying to keep their shutout string intact. They shut out Pontiac last week, and so far have done the same to Batavia. And Mike Gasberry trying to get his Batavia Bulldogs in the end zone for the first time in '92 himself.
Well, I mean, if they can score right here, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be something for the kids to at least feel good about. And I'm sure, the Evergreen Park kids, though, they don't want to give up that point. They don't want it. They want to keep that record intact. And, that's something that they, they work hard. I'm sure that's one of their defensive goals every week to, not give up any points. And they're really doing a good job. So I think this is the type of, the area of a field where, you'd like to get your quarterback maybe on the roll, to give him a little bit of a run-pass option. But, with the type of swarming defense Evergreen's playing, I don't know if, that might be the thing to do. They might want to just take a 3-step and throw a fade on the goal line and, try and look and see, where you're going to get the one-on-one coverage and try and lay one up there.
The Bulldogs, a junior-dominated team. They're going to go through some growing pains. They're in 1992. There's no doubt about it. But for every one they take this year, it might be one they dish out in 1993.
Okay, they're in a one-back.
4th down from the 6. They need to get to about the 3 for the first. Here's Adams with the football. He's got nowhere to go. Dodges a couple of tackles. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. But that's not enough. The ball will go back over to Evergreen Park on down. Does Adams? I think the blocking broke down a little bit, and he had nowhere to go.
Well, they faked inside, faked the reverse, and Adams kept it on the roll. It's pretty tough to run it in from there. You see the replay. Faked inside, faked the 32. Now, I think as he takes the ball out here, he's got to have an option to throw the thing just in case, he gets pressured like he did. It's good. It was good, well conceived, but I think at the end there's got to be an option to throw it.
Where's the beat? Well, it's on the line of the Evergreen, or I should say the Batavia Bulldog defense right now, as the handoff. See, given number 13, Matt Sedano, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. No gains. Sedano in his first rushing attempt today, and we can get a shot of that defensive line of the Batavia Bulldogs lining up. Number 75, Mike Warner, 6'3", 295. You see number 77, Anthony Riddick. He's the small guy, 6'2", 275, and Tim Ledbetter, 6'2", 300. Here's the handoff to Norris. He's got one man to beat. Number 43, Mike Smith, able to hold him down. He couldn't get around Smith as he brought him down at about the 25. It'll be A gain of about 20 yards on the play and good enough for another first down.
Nice job. It's a counter play. You see the offensive lineman pulling, leading it up, and again, he's getting outside the defense. They're losing leverage on the ball, but they're still hustling to it.
So another first down for the Mustangs. 5:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. From the 25-yard line. Shepard hands off.
Hang on.
And no gain right there, as it looked like number 34, Chris Califoot, may have lost a few, may have lost as many as 4, as a matter of fact, and it'll be second down and 14. So right there, it looks like Brett Nelson trying to get a couple of other guys some work today.
Great opportunity to get some young ones in there, and you know, it's always nice as a coach when you can get all your kids in the ball game and give them an opportunity to be evaluated on film.
Here's right now Shafrath again with a football, trying to get around again. He's got a couple men to beat. He did get around, and again Smith is right there, and he lays the pad on Brian Shafrath, who dished out a little hit himself. And again, number 41, Ryan Filgen, a little slow getting up. He's felt the wrath of Shafrath a couple of times today.
He's really, really aggressive for a quarterback, and I'm sure he's got the respect of those offensive linemen, and you know, they love blocking for it like that.
Gain of, I would have to say, almost 11 yards on the play. It'll give them third down and 3. As Shafrath comes up from behind. And now let's see what happens here. A little equipment adjustment, evidently. Number 42 for the Bulldogs, Brian Richards, getting a look-see, and now he's going to probably have to be replaced, as indeed he will head to the bench, and coming in for him is number 32, Mark Fields. Third down, 3 yards to go. You see Shafrath coming behind center. Hands off to number 35, Josh Norris. Carries a couple of guys with him, and he carries it out past the 35-yard line to about the 37. Like that, Chris Califoot was the runner. And Califoot able to carry for the first down. So another first down for the Evergreen Park Mustangs. And I think their offense could play a little defense right now by just holding on to the football.
They're doing a real nice job. Still getting off the ball, and you know, they're sustaining blocks 4 and 5 yards down the field. So, you know, the young defenders on Batavia, you know, they're going to have to learn to, you know, to get off some of those blocks and, you know, keep some of the offensive linemen off their bodies. But they're starting to creep up now. They're going to start stunting, and, you know, I'm sure they're going to try and, you know, knock the ball loose. But, you know, sometimes when you do that, that's when you give up a big play as well.
Califoot, the ball carrier, gain of about 3. It'll be second and 7 now for the Mustangs from the 39-yard line of Evergreen Park. 28-0 in favor of the Mustangs. Been a couple of, I think that 4 big plays that have resulted in the touchdowns for the Mustangs here today. Shafrath finishing up some signal calling, now takes the snap. Gives the handoff. The second man through. Again, Califoot tackled by some big men there. Number 77, Anthony Riddick, able to haul him down.
Anthony played off that block very well. Separated and got right to the ball carrier.
Wow. Must be has something to do with that number. Number 72. That 7 and 2 is spread out pretty good. Probably has hit a few of those fine restaurants in Batavia a number of times. Parsley and basil, some good Italian food, or Harrigan's for a nice big burger. Here's Shafrath, the quick hitter, the first man through. Didn't get his number, but he's tackled by a host of White right there, and he's going to be well short of the first down. A gain of maybe 1 for number 13, Matt Zadano. Ran right into the hands of those 70s. Some big boys over there for Batavia.
And they're getting encouraged over on their sidelines. Really good to see. You know, they stopped them, and they're playing hard all the way through, to their credit.
So the punt formation again for the Evergreen Park Mustangs. Matt Zadano still looking for his first kick. This second time he's gone back there.
And we got 10 men up. Here they come.
He gets
Nice
it off.
job.
A good kick.
Don't
Back
let it
to
hit.
get it is Bob Dazzo, and he kicks it around a little bit. Now finally picks it up at the 15. Good tackle. Number 29, Ray Decker. Able to hold him to no gain. It'll be 1st and 10 for Batavia from the 15-yard line.
I don't know exactly what Bob was, his coach to do in that situation on the block, but, the last thing you want to do is let that ball hit. Sometimes, guys are instructed to make a fair catch there, but, he's a pretty good athlete. I think in the future he'll come up and make that play.
So Batavia may be their last chance to try and get on the scoreboard. 2:14 to go. They've got it at their own 15-yard line. They've got a long way to go, and now a flag down on the field. It didn't look like there was all that much movement. Dead ball, illegal.
They lined up
off sides of it. Lined up in the neutral zone, so a break for the Bulldogs right there. They're going to get 5 yards without even doing a thing. Last thing you want to do is on Evergreen Park side, granted it's 28-0. If you're looking at the shutout, you don't want to give them any yardage with the clock stopped.
Well, these are things that, will be reviewed in films, and I'm sure, Coach Nelson and his staff will address those things. And
1st and 5. Handoff goes to number 32, Mark Fields, and he carries it out over the 30 to about the 34-yard line. So he gained 14 on the play. Fields' second carry of the day. And it's 1st and 10 for Batavia. Well, we're going to be off next week, as I mentioned. Maybe Chuck or Vince back in our truck can tell me where and when we're going to be next week. I think it's September 25th, and I think it's Richards and Sandberg. Again, a flag down to the play. We will be bringing you 5 football games and possibly 6 on multimedia here in 1992. So another flag and another march off against Evergreen Park, and for the second consecutive time, it'll be 1st down and 5 for Batavia.
I think this is the time some of the younger kids get in the game. They're really anxious. They're excited about being in the ball game, and they're just lining up off side.
Back to pass. Here's
Nice
the pass.
catch.
Nice catch by number 43, Mike Smith, and he's breaking a couple tackles. He's across midfield to about the 47-yard line of Evergreen Park. Time is called. It'll be a timeout charge to Batavia.
And that's a real nice job by Mike, taking that ball back outside on the hitch as opposed to taking it inside toward the pursuit. He took it outside, had one man to beat, got out, and made a nice gain for Batavia.
So Mike Smith had to go up to get that pass, and then he's made a couple of game-saving tackles himself, but right there broke a couple of tackles. As you can see, some of the fans for Evergreen Park got to be pretty happy that the boys have put 28 points on the board today and lead it 28-0. So the Mustangs being called over toward their sideline as Mike Gasberry talking with the troops over there for the Batavia Bulldogs. The Evergreen Park Mustangs, a very impressive 28-0 lead here, and they're going to go 2-0 in this young 1992 season. The Bulldogs, as we've mentioned a couple of times already, going to suffer through some growing pains. They'd like to get on that scoreboard just one time. They've got about 1 minute and 21 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter, and they're across midfield, so they still have that possibility. So the timeout finishing up here as the Zebras want to keep things going. Mike Gasperry heading back over toward the sideline as Batavia comes to the line of scrimmage. Jeff Adams, the signal caller. He came on about halfway through the 3rd quarter. Hands off again to number 32, Mark Fields. Fields breaks a couple of tackles. He's down to the 35.
That's
good aggressive base running. Good aggressive running right there, and it gets down to about the 33.
Hurry up, though, they set those chains. That's a good job. They're doing a nice job right here. They know that the clock is stopped while those chains get set. Very nice. They're ready to go.
Here's the replay again as we'll take a look. He took it at about
It's a little down G.
46.
The tackle and tight end block down. The guard pulls outside. Nice play and an excellent effort right there.
Gain of 14 on the play. Here's a pass complete across the 30 to the 27-yard line, and a gain of about 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and a long 5.
Okay, quick huddle. Doing a nice job here.
Adams has completed, by my recollection, all 4 of his passes he has attempted here today. Drops back a deep drop,
going
fakes
deep.
the pass. He's going for it all.
Got him.
He's got one man and just overthrows diving number 84, Casey Miller, but there's a flag on the play, and he may have been held up.
There was contact right about the 5-yard line.
So they were trying to get on the scoreboard with one big play. Matt Terrence on the coverage, and he may have been caught for pass interference, and indeed that is the call.
Well, if in fact he felt that the receiver was going to go by him and score a touchdown, he did the right thing. He grabbed a hold, and you know, they're just going to get penalized. It's not like in the NFL where it's a spot foul.
So it'll be, I believe, a 15-yard penalty in high school football, and they're going to mark it off all the way down to about the 15-yard line. As we see the replay.
Nice job of protecting. Yeah, he interfered. He grabbed a hold of him.
It looked like Terrence may have lost his balance, and he did the right thing, as you mentioned. He just grabbed on and said, well, you're not going to catch this one.
No, they're going to preserve that. They're fighting to preserve that shutout.
Under a minute to go, I believe. Here's the quarterback. Adams dropping back. He fires, and it is complete to number 81, Justin Williams.
That's the tight end on a crossing route.
Adams able to bring it down inside the 5-yard line, maybe as close as the 4, as that's where they're going to mark it, and it'll be 1st and goal to goal from the 4-yard line. Well, let's see how much time is left on that clock.
29 seconds.
29 seconds. So a good job by Jeff Adams. He has moved the team. Handoff to the first man through Osprey.
And he's in.
And he's in for the touchdown. The Bulldogs get on the scoreboard for the first time in 1992.
And they did a nice job. They took that ball over, I think, with about 1:21 and executed a nice 2-minute drill. They kept their poise, threw the ball well.
So Osprey from 4 yards out rushes right through the swarm and able to get to the promised land for the first time in 92, and it's 28-6 now with the extra point upcoming. Mike Pingle out of the hold of number 84, Casey Miller. The snap, number 54, Ben Urich, trying to cut it to 21. Here's the kick. It is up, and it is good. So it's 28-7 now, and the Bulldogs getting on the scoreboard. And as we mentioned, for them, this is just a case of, well, now maybe they'll have something better to feel about during the upcoming week.
Well, you know, next week they might be in a ball game where they've got to execute the 2-minute drill at the end of the half or at the end of the game, and they've got confidence. They've done that, and they can build on something there, and there's some positives.
So a good drive right there for the Batavia Bulldogs as they were able to get things going and finally get on the scoreboard and score now 28-7 in favor of Evergreen Park. You may have saw how the train in the background, and a good job by Nate Ostry. He ran like a train through that line of scrimmage to get into the end zone. So the Mustangs will improve to 2-0. We've got 25 seconds of this football game to play. The onside kick in this situation?
Absolutely.
Got to keep on going to the final gun.
Every second.
So they've probably got their hands team in the front line.
And they do.
They are lining up a little deeper than usual.
It's a little different alignment.
Right now, let's see if, in fact, they are going to onside kick. Looks like Justin Williams kicking off. Got the hand up. The Bulldogs staying spread out. Now everybody shifting to the left side as the onside kick will come. Here's the kick.
Nice kick.
It's a squiver. It's bobbled a little bit, and let's see who's got it. Looks like Evergreen Park may have come up with it. A couple of Bulldogs a little unhappy with themselves. They may have had the football glance off their hands, but Evergreen Park holding onto the football, and now they'll just try and run out the remaining 23 seconds. So the Mustangs very impressively doing it on the ground. They've had some big runs today. A 70-yard run by Josh Norris in the first play from scrimmage. And then in the final play of the first half for Evergreen Park, McKenna ran it from 75 yards out. Then in the third quarter, McKenna again from 63. Norris did it from 25, and it's been that 1-2 punch for Evergreen Park that has really done it as the clock does run out. That's the football game. The final score, Evergreen Park 28 and the Batavia Bulldogs 7. And it looked like Brett Nelson may have gotten doused with the Gatorade. It seems like something they're doing all over the place nowadays, but indeed a very happy Brett Nelson.
I'm sure he doesn't mind a bit.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Evergreen Park. They've got to be very happy with the way their running game is attacking. Anytime you've got 2 men to go to in a backfield, that opens a lot of things up. You cannot key on just one person.
No, really cannot. They utilized a lot of fold blocking and trap blocking today, some misdirection in their offense, some power. They threw the ball, sparingly, but they've got a pretty versatile attack and 2 quality running backs in there. And I think defensively, they're very, very aggressive. They swarm to the football. And they've got a solid kicking game, but I really do like the way they control the tempo of the game. I mean, even when it was still close in score, they had control of that football game. And as I said, some people call that conservative. I call that intelligent, and that's a very, very good job by the Evergreen Park staff with that. And
Batavia scoring on their final drive, able to get on the scoreboard after being shut out 53-0 last week. Losing here today 28-7. Mike Gasperi goes back to practice next week, and now he's got a question to make. Does he go again with Jeff Adams, who started the first game of the season, or does he come back with Corey Andrix?
Well, the first game of the season, when you're getting beat 53-0, I mean, I really think you're outmatched at that point. It's tough to kind of evaluate. And I thought Jeff Adams came in and really acquitted himself very well, throwing the ball. And I think they're going to find out more about their team each time they play. They had some success with their 3-step. They had some success with the fullback play. They really weren't able to get their tailback off, and when you're handing the ball off to the tailback 7 yards deep, you have to sustain those blocks a little bit longer. So they showed some one back, but what I was really impressed with was their 2-minute drill at the end. They really kept their poise and went down and got the ball in. So that's something to build on, and that's something they may have to do again sometime this season.
Well, the Mustangs defeat the Bulldogs by a score of 28-7. For the entire crew here at Evergreen Park, our multimedia cable vision crew, and for Bob Fabrizio. Nice job, Bob. Your debut here on multimedia cable vision. We're glad to have you back a few times. I'm Dave Wills from Evergreen Park, Illinois, hoping you enjoyed the broadcast. The final score once again, Evergreen Park 28, the Batavia Bulldogs 7.